headlines of this hour on VTV News. Prime Minister calls for a proactive, timely and flexible U.S. tariff response. And later on, China responds to the new U.S. tariffs. Vietnamese rescue and relief team leaves good impression on Myanmar.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. The 11th plenum of the 13th Party Central Committee opened in Hanoi on Thursday. Party General Secretary Tô Lâm chaired the meeting and delivered the opening speech. More in the following.
In his opening speech, the Party General Secretary emphasized that the reorganization of administrative units is a historically significant project. This work aims to better serve the people with a vision spanning at least 100 years.
The rearrangement of administrative units and two-level local administrations must result in 34 provinces and cities, eliminating the district level and reducing commune-level administrative units by approximately 50%. The highest priority involves ensuring that commune-level authorities are close to the people and capable of addressing their needs. While the initial target is around 50%, the Central Committee will deliberate on what is most appropriate. If it is feasible and effective, reductions could reach 60 to 70%, depending on each locality's management capacity and conditions. The Politburo's proposal will be carefully considered and ultimately decided upon by the Central Committee.
In preparation for the 14th National Party Congress, the Politburo has directed a comprehensive review and update of policies crucial to national development.
Higher standards are being placed on the qualifications and capabilities of authorities, especially strategic-level personnel. Personnel planning must begin early and continue to evolve leading up to the 14th Congress. The Politburo has directed a review and update of the draft guidelines for personnel work within the 14th Central Executive Committee in alignment with the new organizational structure.
The Politburo has submitted to the Central Committee its proposed plan for electing deputies to the 16th National Assembly and People's Councils at all levels for the 2026 to 2031 tenure. The plenum is scheduled to run until April 12th.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh on Thursday afternoon chaired the fourth meeting of the government to implement the conclusions of the Politburo, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm and key leaders. The meeting focused on developing proactive and effective responses to the new U.S. tariff policy while also advancing macroeconomic stability. More in the following.
At the meeting, all participants acknowledged Vietnam's proactive response to recent international uncertainties. Giving a speech at the meeting, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh emphasized the need to monitor global issues closely, particularly complex external factors, to provide quick responsive policies. He outlined several key priorities aiming at ensuring investors' confidence in the market. Promoting and attracting higher quality FDI investment is also important. Stabilizing the macroeconomy, fostering economic growth, controlling inflation, and ensuring major economic balances are also crucial tasks. Furthermore, political stability, social order, and safety must be maintained, and efforts should be made to improve material and spiritual well-being. A policy review should be conducted to identify and support the most affected sectors.
It is essential that we address this issue without disrupting other priorities, resolving concerns with one partner without negatively impacting others. Furthermore, we must ensure that our actions do not undermine the free trade agreements Vietnam has signed with over 60 partners worldwide.
Regarding the upcoming tasks, the Prime Minister requested promptly policies and actions, including immediate support measures related to fiscal, monetary, and trade policy solutions and social security measures.
Now, as part of strengthening bilateral ties, Vietnam and Spain have jointly announced the results of Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's visit to Vietnam earlier this week. The joint statement highlights that the two government leaders highly appreciated the recent socio-economic achievements of each country and expressed their satisfaction at the positive progress in bilateral relations since the establishment of the strategic partnership towards the future in 2009. Both parties expressed their commitment to further enhancing bilateral cooperation and to upgrade Vietnam-Spain relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership at an appropriate time. And furthermore, both parties highlighted the positive evolution of the economic and trade pillars between the two countries. They agreed to continue fully and effectively implementing the Vietnam-EU Free Trade Agreement to maximize the strengths and complementarily their economies. Vietnam and Spain committed to working together on security initiatives, promoting multilateralism and free trade based on the fundamental principles of international law and the United Nations Charter. Also on the diplomatic front, during his visit to the United States as the special envoy of Party General Secretary Tô Lâm, Deputy Prime Minister Hồ Đức Phước met with U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, several U.S. senators, and various American organizations and businesses. In the meetings, the Deputy Prime Minister emphasized that Vietnam has proactively implemented several measures to help address the trade imbalance between the two countries and to respond to U.S. concerns. The U.S. Trade Representative agreed to initiate negotiations on a reciprocal trade agreement, and both sides committed to improving the business environment further, proactively reviewing and minimizing non-tariff barriers on each other's goods, and strengthening cooperation to control and prevent trade fraud. During the visit, the Deputy Prime Minister also witnessed the signing of a memorandum of understanding between Vietnam Airlines and Citibank to provide over $560 million in financing for the airline's strategic investment projects. A memorandum of understanding worth $300 million was also signed between VietJet and U.S.-based Air Finance Corporation. Meanwhile, in response to the 125% U.S. tariff on Chinese goods, China declared that the door to dialogue would remain open to resolve the differences between the two countries. Meanwhile, it affirms that it opposes the U.S., citing various reasons to unilaterally impose tariffs. The Chinese Ministry of Commerce expressed hope that Washington will cooperate with Beijing and properly resolve differences through dialogue and consultation. In addition to responding fairly, China strives to mitigate the tariff's impact by utilizing the huge domestic market potential. Chinese Prime Minister Li Qiang recently requested that the country's authorities implement more active macroeconomic policies and promptly issue appropriate stimulus measures to ensure stable economic operations. China is also strengthening efforts to promote economic and trade cooperation with neighboring countries and partners. Similarly, the country has resumed negotiations on electric vehicle prices and agreed to start consultations on market access with the European Union soon. And against the backdrop of ongoing global trade difficulties, the special ASEAN Economic Ministers' special meeting on the U.S. tariff policy took place online on Thursday morning. Vietnamese Minister of Industry and Trade Nguyễn Hồng Diên affirmed Vietnam's stance, emphasizing that ASEAN needs to be brave, united, and flexible in approaching the new tariff policy while promoting cooperation with external partners, including the U.S. The conference adopted a joint statement clearly demonstrating ASEAN's unified stance. This statement includes protecting regional supply chains, supporting small and medium-sized enterprises, and maintaining commitments to the multilateral trading system. ASEAN also agreed to establish a task force on a geo-economic task force to assess impacts, share information, and propose common solutions to external unilateral trade policies. And in a similar vein, concerns are mounting for Vietnamese exporters amid tightening trade measures from the United States. And such situation demands resilience and a measured response. However, with 17 free trade agreements in place and ongoing negotiations with potential markets, this period offers Vietnamese enterprises a valuable opportunity to diversify their export markets.
The company has been hit hard by U.S. trade policies, with its export volume to the market expected to drop 20%. Their strategy is to gauge market reactions and test American consumers' acceptance of new pricing. The company is actively expanding into other markets, including Australia and New Zealand.
The New Zealand market is new for our grapefruit and seedless lemon products, but consumption has been a surprise. Our passion fruit products are gaining traction in Australia as well.
The recent activation of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between Vietnam and the United Arab Emirates has opened up significant opportunities in this vast market for Vietnamese seafood exporters.
We are given access to the Middle East market via the UAE. This marks a promising development. We believe the Middle East will become an increasingly important focus for the sector in the coming years.
The growth of export at least for the Vietnamese side, and also the investment, EU investment, because of course we are also investing.
According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, Vietnam has only utilized about 30% of the potential from its FTAs. Recently, the ministry introduced an FTA index, reflecting its ongoing efforts to streamline administrative reforms and provide businesses with the support needed to fully leverage FTA opportunities.
Coming up next on VTV News. Low-emission rice drives agricultural transformation in the Mekong Delta. And Da Nang International Airport ranked among the world's top 100 airports. We continue with updates on how Vietnamese enterprises are adapting to U.S. adjustments of trade policies and import requirements, particularly in seafood exports. Mekong Delta businesses proactively seek new directions. Rather than relying on a few familiar markets, they diversify their products and expand their export destinations, striving to overcome hardships and achieve sustainable development.
This major shrimp industry business has reduced its dependence on the U.S. market by diversifying its sales channels across various international markets.
The market is constantly changing. Sometimes, exports to China, Japan, and Europe are favorable. We always look for and focus on favorable markets.
This factory has boldly invested in processing technology to produce a wide range of value-added products. This approach has helped the company secure orders with stable selling prices.
Value-added products bring much higher profit margins compared to other items. Initially, we only had the Japanese market, but now Vietnamese products have expanded into many more markets.
Apart from the $10 billion USD goal in exports, the seafood industry should also focus on maintaining the production chain, ensuring jobs and income for millions of workers. Therefore, product diversification and expanding sales channels are flexible and long-term solutions for this billion-dollar industry.
Also in our business news, limited capital, weak management capabilities, and small-scale production capacity have been limitations for most small and medium-sized enterprises or SMEs in recent times. Although the sector is one of the priority groups for credit support policies aimed at development, it still faces challenges in accessing loan capital.
Despite developing 9 OCOP products with a 4-star certification in the space of 5 years, this business still operates small-scale production. Businesses like this have difficulty accessing preferential loans, preventing them from expanding production.
We have encountered many obstacles in accessing capital, as preferential loan packages often have high interest rates. We hope to receive support in accessing preferential low-interest loan packages and innovation startup funds to develop our products and businesses.
Many businesses face a major challenge when applying for preferential loans, as the collateral required by credit institutions for disbursement remains a major obstacle.
Although we can handle national-scale projects, access to bank credit remains a challenge. Banks require proof of collateral worth tens to hundreds of millions of USD for each project. Unfortunately, we don't have the assets to secure the bid performance.
The State Bank of Vietnam, SBV, reports that nearly $25.6 billion in loan capital was lent in the first quarter of 2025. Strengthening the supply-demand connection for credit, linking banks with businesses, and reducing administrative procedures for accessing preferential loan sources are the key tasks at hand.
We must create additional channels for businesses to access capital and develop a diversified ecosystem that provides small and medium-sized enterprises with effective, market-driven support funds.
Vietnam currently has nearly 1 million active enterprises, of which 98% are small and medium-sized enterprises contributing up to 45% of GDP. Therefore, increasing preferential loan packages for this sector will significantly boost the economy's growth.
Now shifting to agricultural innovation, a new pilot project in Quảng Bình aims to enhance rice farming while protecting the environment. It is co-organized by the North Central Institute of Agricultural Science and Technology and Green Carbon Japan, Vietnam. The 30-hectare trial showed promising results as rice grew well with fewer pests and diseases. The project aims to expand across the North Central and Northern provinces and many South Central and Southern localities. It promotes sustainable rice farming, enhances economic value, and supports the branding of low-emission rice, thereby helping improve farmers' incomes. Vietnamese rice is also positioned to break into a new luxury market with its certified low-emission rice. In the Mekong Delta region, the sustainable development of 1 million hectares of low-emission, high-quality rice has brought joy to farmers and local residents, helping reduce production costs while increasing profits.
Harvesting these 7 hectares of high-quality rice as part of the project has yielded outstanding results beyond expectations. The input costs are significantly reduced, which increases profits.
The project benefits farmers by reducing costs, increasing profit.
If they participate, local farmers will be supported with agricultural materials and will have access to advanced techniques. Farmers can optimize the efficiency of materials used in production. Enterprises will purchase the output rice at prices higher than the market rate.
We focus on technological applications in production regarding rice quality. An Giang province has been assigned the task of researching and developing new rice varieties that meet the standards to cultivate 1 million hectares of high-quality, low-emissions rice.
The agriculture sector in Mekong Delta region plans to expand to 200,000 hectares this year. The project aims to transform at-scale rice farming to obtain higher quality, greater efficiency, and long-term sustainability.
Skytrax, a prestigious international air transport rating organization, has just released its list of the world's top 100 airports for 2025. And Vietnam has 2 representatives on the list, Nội Bài International Airport and Da Nang International Airport. Nội Bài International Airport made an impressive leap, rising 17 spots to claim the 79th position compared to its 2024 ranking. Meanwhile, Da Nang International Airport entered the list at 84th, marking a significant milestone for the central hub. The Skytrax rankings are based on millions of passenger reviews from over 100 countries, evaluating a wide range of criteria such as service quality at international terminals, convenience, cleanliness, comfort, language accessibility, and staff professionalism. Coming up next on VTV News. Vietnamese rescue and relief team leaves good impression on Myanmar. An international choir competition returns twice as large to Hội An. The Vietnamese rescue and relief team has safely returned to Vietnam after a week-long earthquake relief mission in Myanmar. The team excelled in their rescue mission, leaving a positive image of Vietnamese soldiers in the hearts of the Myanmar people and the international community. The following story has more on this.
5 days after the earthquake, signs of life miraculously appeared under the rubble. Vietnam's forces immediately carried out a rescue mission.
I used my hands to dig and remove layers of rubble, trying my best to reach the victim. I managed to create a small hole and reached down and touched the victim's hand. He seemed still very strong.
This warm handshake gave the victim more hope and strength to wait until being pulled out from beneath tons of concrete, brick, and steel.
They rescued and treated me here. I am very grateful to the Vietnamese army.
The Vietnamese rescue team consists of 80 soldiers and 20 police officers. Less than 48 hours after the disaster, they arrived in Myanmar and divided into 4 groups. As the hope of survival remained high, they could not use heavy machinery, which posed too much risk for any survivors under the rubble. As a result, the rescue team carried out their rescue attempts by hand using only rudimentary tools.
We worked in excellent coordination with the Vietnamese People's Army rescue team. Your team was incredibly brave and professional. Thank you for helping our country and now Myanmar as well.
I deeply felt the spirit of the Vietnamese search and rescue team. They worked from early morning until late at night, with incredible intensity. We even suggested they take a day off, but they insisted they came here to work.
One survivor was found, and the bodies of 28 victims were recovered and returned to their families. This was the result of the tireless efforts of the Vietnamese rescue team, working in coordination with other international forces. In addition to human resources, the Vietnamese team provided free medical checkups, assisted with disinfection efforts, and addressed environmental issues. These efforts were all to help the people of Myanmar stabilize their lives following the disaster.
And in local news, the opening ceremony of the 8th Vietnam International Choir Competition took place on Wednesday at the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Hội An Ancient Town. First launched in 2011, the biannual competition was jointly organized by the city of Hội An, Quảng Nam Province and Germany's Intercultural Association, and has proven to be a hit with the audiences.
Choirs will compete across 11 categories. They will deliver performances that blend technical precision with the cultural traditions of their home countries.
It feels great to be here. We are very privileged to be able to join this competition. It's actually a chance for my students to join an international stage.
As part of the competition, audiences can enjoy a vibrant lineup of activities, including a choir parade in Hoài River Square, exploring the town's timeless beauty in Hội An Legendary Night, the International Melody Friendship Concert, and cultural tours around Hội An.
This time we have almost double choirs, almost 30 choirs, so it's getting big again, and I expect it maybe in 2 years to be even bigger. So it's growing again. This is so fantastic hall. The show, yeah, you know, they have fantastic dancers. Every time they come up with new ideas, and as I told you, like I saw this time a lot of creative ideas with a lot of symbolism in the show.
Through the convergence of cultures, music, and song, the competition aims to foster love, compassion, and friendship among humanity. The 8th International Choir Competition will run from April 9th to 13th in Hội An.
Moving on to our world news, a space probe is being launched into Earth's orbit this month to map the carbon content of tropical forests in some of the world's most remote areas. And this new biomass probe is expected to provide useful information to help combat deforestation around the globe. More to follow.
A new radar scanner will be attached to the biomass space probe, which, after its planned launch on April 29th, will orbit the Earth for several years and collect data on the densest rainforests across Africa, Asia, and South America.
We care about the forest. The forest is the lung of our planet, and what we are particularly interested in is to get information on the flow of the carbon cycle flow. So what we want to measure is how much of the fossil fuel that is burned and produces CO2, how much of that goes into the forests and stays there and is captured. And we do several maps over the years in order to see the changes. That is the main goal of the mission.
The probe's instruments are designed to measure carbon levels accurately, even through dense forest canopies. Often referred to as Earth's green lungs, forests draw in approximately 8 billion tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere annually. However, ongoing deforestation and degradation, especially in tropical regions, are releasing this stored carbon back into the atmosphere.
First of all, they will improve the climate modeling, and that is needed to tackle the issue and the problem at all. So then they will be there to monitor also deforestation, what is cut, and we will also be able to assist and monitor many of these programs. For example, the United Nations has forestation programs, and they want to monitor very precisely what is growing, what these contributions are.
The information collected by the biomass probe is necessary for developing conservation strategies and informing climate policy.
And as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.